Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Mercury Sextile or trine one's natal Venus. Now, this transit may manifest in communications, learning, siblings, cousins, neighbors, short journeys, maybe more in harmony with love, your enjoyment. Short journeys may be more enjoyable for you at this time. Even if the transit Mercury stays in Pisces, it could be more of a convoluted short journey with a lot of winding roads. Mercury in Scorpio can be one of a secretive, mysterious nature, maybe one going to something connected to supernatural like a horror house. And it may also be an auspicious time for communication and money, whether it could be articulating what you want to do on a monetary scale, or it could be simply if you're in a position where communication could be emphasized and you're making money. Say if you're a door-to-door salesman, or even if you're with the public and you're in some kind of sales, you could just be working in retail and you're trying to sell a product to somebody. You may be able to do so by greater self-expression as far as your communication is, being able to verbalize what it is you're selling, and talking about the good qualities connected with the item. Now, also, too, Venus is connected with our values. So it may also be a time where siblings, cousins, neighbors, they may be more in harmony with the things that you value. If you have your, going back to the natal Venus, we're talking about Pisces being involved. If the natal Venus is in Pisces, it could be matters with isolation or seclusion, or fantasy. Could be playing video games, just relaxing. If you're, say if the natal Venus is in Taurus, it could be just making money, accumulating possessions, just matters with self-worth. Gemini could be about variety, versatility, being able to do things with manual dexterity, being able to assimilate information, carry on a conversation, being multifaceted. Now, another thing too, okay, Venus is connected with our relationships, so this one naturally could be more of a propitious time for communication with the people that you could be in a romantic relationship with. It could be a significant friendship. If the transit Mercury is in Aquarius, as an example, it could be communicating about the future, goals, aspirations, astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, innovation, as some examples. And again, Venus is also, it's connected with the relationships, which could be romantic ones, but also the important friendships as well. Now, anatomically speaking, now Venus is associated with the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the lower back, and kidneys. So if there's any issues you're experiencing that are anatomically connected with Venus at this time, it may be a time where you could verbalize them better, you could explain them better. If you're going to, say, some primary physician, whatever it is, if you're going to a regular doctor or hospital, or you're just talking to people you know about this, these are issues in which you can more likely than not be able to articulate better. If the natal Venus is in Aquarius, it could be one. These issues may be very sporadic and erratic and come around very unpredictably, as an example. And another thing too is that Venus is also connected with art. So if you're like in a profession where you're trying to sell your art, you're somebody that is actually very proficient in art, it may be a time where you're more apt to be able to sell it, I would say, because you can communicate and may be persuasive in selling the art. Let's say you have the transit Mercury in Libra as an example, which could be persuasive in speech, and it's making a trine aspect to the natal Venus. Say it's in Aquarius, it could be something with your art may be connected with something of an unusual nature, may be very unusual and innovative, or it could be something with science fiction As another example, if the natal Venus is in Gemini, it could be animated or cartoon art. And this is a time where you might be able to sell it easier because you're able to could be being persuasive, but being able to talk about the good, the qualities of the artwork. And another thing too is that looking at this transit as well, keep in mind that Venus is about negotiation and compromise. So the communications, trying to reach an agreement, trying to reach a compromise, cooperation, those things may be more easily attained, more so than usual at this time. And if you have the natal Venus in Libra enter the 7th house, it may it could increase the chances of it being something more of a legal type of situation. As an example, Taurus or the 2nd house, Venus could be more of a monetary, nature. It could be over some possession. Now the thing is too, Venus is also connected with lawsuits. So it's a time too, again, that the communications with lawsuits may be more favorable. Again, that the fact that Mercury's connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors could indicate that these people may be more in favor of whatever it is. Like, say if you filed a lawsuit, they may be more apt to give you support in whether it's of a monetary nature, whether it's giving you insider advice as to what you can do, just being there for you during that time. Or even if there's a lawsuit that may have been filed against you, it could be a time where it's more favorable as far as getting the assistance from them in matters with this lawsuit. If the say if the natal Venus was in Scorpio, could be over there's some insurance or will or state or tax related issue. Gemini could be some kind of forgery or plagiarism, or maybe there's an identity theft situation as some examples. Maybe you're suing somebody over that. Now, and it is, Venus is legalities, in general. And it's about a time where it could be more propitious to talk about these issues. And it could simply be something that may be a zoning issue as an example, or something with a home, or a partition or extension being added, and you might just simply be trying to find out if it falls legally, if it falls in legal parameters of where you're at. And these communications are more apt to be more positive and being able to get the answers at this point in time regarding that. Now, Venus is also connected with our possessions. So it can be a time where if you're trying to get money or accumulate more possessions, it's a better opportunity, I would say, to formulate the mental plan in order to get this at this point in time. If you're taking, say, a short journey and you're trying to pick something up and buy something, and you're trying to get a few possessions for your home, this could be a time you could do so with little delays or obstructions or distractions at this point in time. If the natal Venus is in Aquarius, it could be possessions of things you want to buy that could be connected with astrology or astronomy or computer electronic items at this time. And Venus is also associated with resources. So it's a time where you can really be able to talk more and be able to understand what your resources are at this time, and really have better grasp of these things more so than usual. And maybe communication may increase your resources of what as far as that goes at this point in time. Now, another thing is that this could also be a time for positive communications, which is Mercury, about money, which is Venus. Say, for example, if the natal Venus is in Pisces in the 5th house, it could be fantasy, which is Pisces, games, which is 5th house, maybe production. It could be making money doing that. Could even be creating hypothetical sports matchups as another example, because Pisces is connected with simulation, the imagination, fantasy, things that are unreal. And the fifth house is the house of sports. Hold on a moment, people. It could also be a time where it's auspicious to learn, which is Mercury, about art, which is Venus. Let's say, for example, if the natal Venus is in Gemini, as I stated before, it could be animated or cartoon artwork. Now, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is associated with Mercury, can favor your relationships more at this time. If the natal Venus is in Taurus, say it could be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody those characteristics. It could be people that are very loyal, steadfast, and persistent, and stolid. As an example, short journeys, which is Mercury, may be very more enjoyable at this time. Let's say, for example, if the natal Mercury is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it could be connected with family, history, going back to places of nostalgia that are nostalgic to you. Also, too, another way this transit may manifest, it could be where good news, and news is connected with Mercury, regarding a legal matter at this time. Let's say, for example, if the natal Venus is in Aries, it could be over an accident or a volatile action, something violent, that you suffered some physical injury due to a violent action by somebody. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.